Hello again. Today I discuss carbohydrates and further classify them accordingly. So carbohydrate is not a new topic, and generally all of the science student are well not only know this particular topic by name, but they are also very well familiarized with this particular topic, that is carbohydrate. Now this is a very important content, or this is a very important topic from point of view of chemistry as well as from point of view of biochemistry. So before moving further, I here discuss what ultimately the carbohydrate is, and chemically or in terms of chemistry and furthermore in terms of biochemistry, how we define carbohydrate. So carbohydrates are nothing but the compounds or substances which are having general formula, that is CX bracket H2O bracket close Y. So this is the general formula of a carbohydrate. And why actually, or why ultimately we know carbohydrate as carbohydrate? Because technically the term carbohydrate means hydrates of carbon. Which we can here easily predicted from the general formula. So generally the carbohydrate usually or in a general sense comply with this particular formula which I have shown here. Although there are chemical compounds which are having or which comply with the same formulae, however, they are not carbohydrate. For example, formaldehyde or acetic acid, which anyhow comply with this particular formula, but in actual sense they are not carbohydrate. So technically or in terms of its structure or structurally, a carbohydrate are the chemical substances which are either polyhydroxyaldehyde or they are polyhydroxyketones. So why I am saying here a carbohydrate is a polyhydroxyaldehyde or a carbohydrate is a polyhydroxyketone? Because carbohydrate itself envelopes or made up of number of OH group, that is hydroxy group, along with functionality or functional group which can be aldehyde for some and ketone for other. So due to presence of multiple hydroxy group along with aldehyde or ketone, the carbohydrate is chemically or in terms of its chemistry defined as chemical substance or compound which are having polyhydroxyaldehyde or polyhydroxyketone functionality within their structure. So this is the simple structure of glucose, and we can here see that this particular structure contains the 6 carbon atom, and along with these 6 carbon atoms are get attached on its head by a CHO group, and on another side, that is on tail, by CH2OH. And further, this particular structure is binded or attached with the OH group simultaneously, and we can here easily see here that there are number of hydroxy groups are present along with the aldehyde group which is at the top or on the head. So because of such structure or because of this particular structure, we here say, or because of which I earlier also explained structurally, that carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehyde or a polyhydroxyketone. Anyhow, this particular aldehyde group, if it is replaced by a keto moiety or a keto functionality, this particular structure is then becomes as polyhydroxyketone. However, this structure represents the polyhydroxyaldehyde type of carbohydrate. So now, as we are done with the introductory part, that is the introduction as well as the definition of carbohydrate from the point of view of its structure. Now I am going to discuss the classification of carbohydrate. So as you can here see that I here classify the carbohydrate in a systematic manner, and systematically I further elaborated the each and every class which is here I classify anyhow. So very first I here categorized the carbohydrate into a sugar and as a non-sugar moiety. Or I here, or I can, or I. So the carbohydrate can be a sugar, or simultaneously a carbohydrate can also be categorized as a non-sugar moiety or a non-sugar chemical compound or a substance. So when a carbohydrate is said to be sugar or when it is said to be a non-sugar, this totally depends upon these three particular characteristics, which itself I here mentioned. A carbohydrate is said to be sugar if it is sweet in taste, freely soluble in water, and have less molecular weight. So anyhow, on the basis of these three facts, a carbohydrate is said to be sugar. When it will be said to be a sugar, if it possesses sweet taste, or it is soluble in water, or it have a lower molecular weight. Anyhow, simultaneously, a carbohydrate is said to be non-sugar if it satisfies these characteristics. That is, the very first one is it should not be sweet in taste. A non-sugar carbohydrate is insoluble in water, and further it have a very high molecular weight or a large molecular weight. So on the basis of these three characteristics, a carbohydrate is sufficiently, or these three characteristics are sufficient to categorize a carbohydrate as a non-sugar. So further, once we here broadly categorize the carbohydrate as a sugar and as a non-sugar, I here further categorized the carbohydrate, that is the sugar carbohydrate, into following category on the basis of the product yielded upon hydrolysis, and also same on the basis of product yielded by hydrolysis or the product obtained by hydrolysis of non-sugar. I here categorize the non-sugar as a polysaccharide, and same on the basis of hydrolysis or the products yielded upon hydrolysis, the sugar is further categorized as monosaccharide and oligosaccharide, and further I subcategorized the oligosaccharide as disaccharide, trisaccharide and tetrasaccharide. So let us discuss the each and every category, why a monosaccharide is known as monosaccharide, and how ultimately we define and further classify the oligosaccharide. Let us look into in an elaborate manner. So a carbohydrate which is sugar is very first be categorized as monosaccharide. So here monosaccharide means when such carbohydrates or when a monosaccharide is hydrolyzed, they will yield no molecule of their own monomer, that is the monosaccharide. Now here So monosaccharides are the carbohydrate which when hydrolyzed will not yield any monomeric structure or any small molecule. So these monosaccharides are not hydrolyzable further in terms of yielding any small molecules or the monomers. General formula for an monosaccharide is CnH2nOn, where the N ranges from 2 to 10 in number, and there are no doubt some exceptions are there to this particular formula. The example of monosaccharides includes the most renowned sugar, that is the glucose and the fructose. Now oligosaccharides are further subcategorized as disaccharide, trisaccharide and tetrasaccharides. So once hydrolyzed, the net monomeric unit hydrolyzed by the oligosaccharides or the net monosaccharides yielded by hydrolysis of oligosaccharides, on the basis of that, and oligosaccharides are further categorized as disaccharide, trisaccharide and tetrasaccharide, and accordingly, as I said, when a disaccharide is hydrolyzed, it yields 2 molecules of monosaccharides on hydrolysis. So when a disaccharide is hydrolyzed, what we get? We get the 2 molecules of monosaccharides. So example of disaccharides includes the sucrose, that is the table sugar, and the lactose, the lactose, which is the sugar which is found ultimately in the milk. Then the next subcategory under the oligosaccharide is the trisaccharide. So as its name indicates, tri indicates the 3. So whenever the trisaccharide is hydrolyzed, it will yield 3 molecule of monosaccharide. As per its name, you have the tri indicates the 3. So whenever a trisaccharide is suitably hydrolyzed, what we get? We will get the 3 molecules of monosaccharide. And the example of trisaccharide is raffinose. So the next subcategory under the oligosaccharide is the tetrasaccharide. So the tetra indicates the 4, and as I here classify or the subclassify other sugar type carbohydrate under the oligosaccharide, the tetrasaccharide itself indicate the 4 molecule or the 4. So here whenever the tetrasaccharide is hydrolyzed, we will get the 4 molecules of monosaccharides, which are itself the monomeric units. So we are get the 4 molecules of monosaccharides upon hydrolysis of tetrasaccharides, and the example under this particular category is stachyiose. The example is stachyiose. So these all are the explanation or the category regarding the sugar as categorized here. So now let us look into the non-sugar part, and this non-sugar part is described on the basis of these 3 characteristics, that is the non-sugar must be not sweet in the taste, and it is not water soluble, that is it is insoluble in the water, as well as it have a very high or it have a very large molecular weight. And why this particular compound have a large molecular weight? Because it consists of number of monomeric units which ultimately are linked together in a particular manner or in a particular sense to yield a non-sugars, that is a polysaccharide. So the polysaccharide is considered or it's categorized or it is a category under the non-sugar carbohydrate. And as its name indicate, this polysaccharide consists of very large number of monomeric unit, or because this polysaccharide is made up of large number of monomeric sugar molecules which are linked together in a particular or in a specific sense. So because of that particular presence of large number of monomeric sugar molecules, we say this molecule as a polysaccharide. So as its name indicate, whenever on the basis of hydrolysis, whenever this polysaccharide is hydrolyzed, we here get the large number of monosaccharides obtained upon hydrolysis of polysaccharides. The very good example of polysaccharide is the starch and cellulose. So polysaccharide is a type of non-sugar, and why it is ultimately said as a non-sugar, this is because of the characteristic which I here discussed. And why ultimately we know this particular polysaccharide as a polysaccharide, because whenever this polysaccharide is hydrolyzed, it results in the large number of monosaccharide molecule, and the example of polysaccharides are the starch and cellulose. The monosaccharide can further be categorized either on the basis of number of carbon atom it contains, or on the basis of functional group which attach to the monosaccharide. So on the basis of carbon atom, the monosaccharide can be categorized as triose, tetrose, pentose and hexose. So if the monosaccharide contains the 3 carbon, it is categorized as triose, for example the glyceraldehyde. If it contains 4 carbon atom, then it is known as tetrose, for example erythrose. If the monosaccharide contains 5 carbon atom, it is known as pentose, for example ribose. If the monosaccharide contains the 6 carbon atom, it is known as hexose, for example glucose. And likewise, the other category or the other method by which we can categorize the monosaccharide as on the basis of its functional group, that is, a monosaccharide can be aldose or a ketose. So a monosaccharide is categorized as an aldose sugar if it contains the principal functionality as an aldehyde, and it is categorized as a ketose sugar if the principal functionality, the monosaccharide, contains a keto moiety or the keto functional group. So anyhow, if for an example, if the monosaccharide contains the 6 carbon atom and a principal functional group as an aldehyde, so it is known as aldohexose. Aldohexose when it contains the principal functional group as an aldehyde and the number of carbon atom is 6, so it is known as aldohexose. So glucose is an aldohexose type sugar. And likewise, we can anyhow categorize the monosaccharide on the basis of number of carbon atoms as well as on the basis of the functional group it anyhow contains.